Kia ora, bros and girls, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to go through some gameplay of Variant 1, Chapter 1, and we're going to go through some of the bosses and mini-bosses. The first one we're going to have a look at is Emma, and this is kind of the cheese method we were talking about with Gambit and the SP1 stun. So basically all you need to do is get your SP1, and once you're at your SP1, she's always going to be in telepath form, not diamond form, so she's going to be stunnable, and then you're always going to be throwing your SP1 and you're just going to be chaining that. Now, there are two Emmas actually on, there's one on the easy line, and there's one that you always have to meet as the mini-boss before the final boss. Um, and I found that higher ratings of Gambit work better, as in the stun is a little bit more consistent, because it's kind of based on the armor of Emma. Um, but I think my very first initial completion, I think I did it with like a 3-star Gambit. That's all I had at the time, and it worked, but there were chances in there because it's quite a long fight with a 3-star, as you can imagine. And I think I did have to use one revive because, like, about halfway in, about 60% or 40% to go, I think she just came out of stun, and then I had to revive there and go again. But this method is going to get you. It's probably the easiest way to get through this Emma. And often with a high enough, like 5-star or 6-star Gambit, you're not going to have a problem. You're going to stun her the entire time, and if she's stunned, the SP3 doesn't even matter. So then you come against this tech boss, and this tech boss is basically Black Panther. Now, most of his nodes don't really matter, and he doesn't have an SP3, he only has an SP1 and SP2. But the ones that really do matter is he's got this combination of Backblast and Languor. Now, Backblast means that every time he launches a special, 50% of your power is drained. If he connects with the special, he will power burn 100% of your power. Now, combine that with Languor, which means that if your power ever drops to 0, you're going to take 240% of his attack as direct damage. Means that if he either connects a special or if you use an SP3, you're basically dead. So, the easiest way to get past this is to just really evade his SP1, his SP2. Don't worry about the power drain. With Aegon, you can just use combos and take him down. Or you can use Havoc and do damage over time. Or you can use Iceman, you can use Korg. You can use whoever. Just be mindful not to let your power drop to 0. And not to get clipped by his specials. But Black Panther is pretty easy to evade. All you need to do is distance between the SP1 and the SP2. And then that's not a problem. And that will get you through this chapter 100%ing it without really requiring any revives. Now we move on to the boss of the second chapter. Now this boss is a little bit trickier. His nodes are actually not too bad, so he's got all these enhanced regen and he's unblockable when he has a regen. I don't think he's got a way to, I think maybe his SP1 actually has a way to maybe proc regen sometimes, but he doesn't actually have a natural regen, so you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to play around being like unblockable or reversing a regen or anything. But he will also pilfer your furies, which makes for a pretty bad time. The trickiest thing about this guy is actually evading his SP1s and his SP2s, because you're going to be fighting aggressively and it's a long fight. The chances of you mistiming one of the evades is quite high. And this is where I keep talking about his SP1 and his SP2 and timing it, because the biggest mistakes I've made here is, as you can see, is mistiming the evade of the SP1. And it's not just about evading at the right time, it's about having a bit of distance. Over there, or in that last clip, I'm not 2/3 of the screen away. And even though I back at the right time, I actually end up getting clipped with the tail end of the SP1, and that kind of ruins this particular run for me. I mean, I still managed to get a fair amount of attack in, but then I have to come in with a second champion to clean up. And if you saw the SP2 evades, that one is really close. That one that was really close, I was evading right as he puts his hands on the ground. But initially in the fight, I'm way further away, and I'm tracking that shockwave and evading the shockwave itself, not evading his hands. So with that being said, that's probably the trickiest thing about this guy. Other than that, he's pretty easy. He doesn't have an SP3 that you got to worry about. He doesn't do a heck of a lot of damage. He's not going to regen, so you don't really need to worry about that. You just need to make sure that you're evading the SP1 and the SP2s correctly, and chances are when you do get clipped, you're going to die. So it's good to have 2 or 3 champs just who can clean up, but obviously I found Aegon probably the easiest for this. But you can use Omega Red, you can use Havoc, you can use Iceman, you can use Korg, you can use whoever your preference is really in this class. So that's that one. And then well, we'll just wait for this fight to go. And then we're going to talk about the next boss. Now the next boss is... Actually, I'll wait because some people will probably skip the video to the third boss. So let's get past that. Okay, great. So let's talk about the third boss. Now the third boss is effectively a Cyclops, right? And you will need to learn to evade the Cyclops' SP1 and SP2. If you don't know how to do it, go to Dork Diggity Dave's channel. He's got a video there about how to evade Cyclops' SPs like a ninja. It's absolutely perfect. If you can practice with that and learn it, you're going to need it for this particular fight. Now with this fight, the nodes that really matter are precision aggression, which means that every 2 seconds he's going to get a precision charge, which is going to bump up his critical rating, and he's got a combo with his critical rating, and also the fact that his SP1 and SP2 is quite tricky to evade if you don't know how to. This means that you can't really block them too many times, because you're going to take too much chip damage and die. He's also got Caltrops, which means ideally you'd want to bring a bleed immune, but Aegon can play around this. So with Aegon, once you have a combo meter of 100 or more, then the next critical hit is guaranteed to shake off a debuff. Now, obviously, above 100, you're going to be hitting a crit every single time anyway, almost with Aegon, so you're not going to take too much Caltrops damage. The trick here is though not dashing back too much, being aggressive, getting him in the corner, only really evading to evade the SPs, and using the SP3 as often as you can to just kind of keep them stunned, keep him in the corner, and keep doing damage. The other alternative, of course, is to bring someone who's bleed immune. So Omega, Iceman, and Korg all work really, really well. The trick here is, though, to minimize the amount of times that he throws his specials and learning how to evade those specials quite well. If you're able to do that, this guy is not too much of a problem. So hopefully this helped you guys out. If it did, like, subscribe, leave a comment below, and we'll see you in the next one with the Chapter 2 bosses. Kakita, no bros and girls.